In 1978, Superman the movie opened to critical and box office success. It redefined what the public were willing to accept in their movie world, and it redefined what the comic book genre was capable of. In 1982, the sequel gained even more popularity both commercially and critically. However, by 1983, by the time Superman 3 came out, the cracks were beginning to show. After Superman 3 opened to lukewarm box office reception in 1983, the Salkinds decided to part company with Warner Brothers and sell the rights to Superman to Canon. Quick to promote the fact that they'd bought the rights, Golan and Globus, heads of Canon, decided to promote the film for the summer of 1987. Now that the rights were in place, all that was left to do was get the original cast back into play. First off was Christopher Reeve as the title character. Following him was Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor. Playing a more pivotal role after 3 was Margot Kidder as Lois Lane. Also Jackie Cooper as Perry White. Finally, Mark McClure as Jimmy Olsen. The newcomers in this 4th entry came in the form of Sam Wanamaker as David Warfield and Mariel Hemingway as Lucy Warfield. The next step was to make sure that the story was in place. Storyboards were drawn up, action set pieces were thought out. The idea of a character called Nuclear Man brought about the notion of who was going to play him. This role eventually went to Mark Pillow, an unknown actor from California. Writers Mark Rosenthal and Lawrence Connor worked closely with Christopher Reeve to create a nuclear arms theme for the film.
I did a documentary, narrated a documentary and did wraparound interviews, a program that some children had made called A Message to Our Parents, which is a film made by 12-year-olds about their fears of growing up in a nuclear age, and this is what sparked the idea for the story.
It's nice to see the character take on a global responsibility, even though his father warned him in the first picture not to try and do that.
Well, that's the whole dilemma. Every now and again, eventually you got to throw away the handbook when you see that people need. You know, at what point do you play by the rules, and at what point do you answer the needs of the people around you? I think that's something that people can easily understand.
At this point, the promotion started to kick into overdrive. However, as production neared completion and the impending trailer neared ever closer, it was quite clear to fans that things weren't quite going to plan.
The greatest hope against the threat of nuclear war is Superman.
I'm going to do what our governments have been unwilling or unable to do. Effective immediately, I'm going to rid our planet of all nuclear weapons.
The greatest threat to Superman is Lex Luthor.
Smarter than I thought. We can make the world safe for war profits.
He's created the ultimate weapon to annihilate the Man of Steel.
You'd risk worldwide nuclear war for your own personal financial gain.
Nobody wants war. I just want to keep the threat alive.
Dude of Steel, where are you gonna get it?
You know you're a workaholic. Why don't you stop and smell the roses, huh?
Superman 4, Christopher Reeve, Gene Hackman, Jackie Cooper, John Cryer, with Mariel Hemingway and Margot Kidder as Lois Lane. Superman 4, his most important adventure, the quest for peace.